the dumbest thief you've ever dealt with? I thought I had the perfect girlfriend. We had been together for almost 2 years, living in my apartment, splitting bills, and talking about the future like it was already decided. She always joked about how lucky she was that I trusted her so much, and I would laugh and say, why wouldn't I? It started small. One day I noticed my gold chain was missing from the drawer. I asked her about it while we were making dinner, and she looked genuinely confused. She said, maybe you misplaced it. I believed her, because who assumes their girlfriend is stealing from them? A week later, my watch was gone. This time my stomach dropped. I tore the apartment apart while she sat on the couch scrolling on her phone. I finally said, babe, this is getting weird. Stuff keeps disappearing. She rolled her eyes and said, you're being paranoid. Maybe someone broke in. That idea stuck in my head and made everything worse. Over the next month, more things vanished. Rings my grandfather gave me, old coins, and even some cash I kept hidden in a box. I barely slept because I was convinced someone had a key. I told her, I think we're being robbed, and she hugged me and whispered, that's scary, but we'll figure it out. That's when I decided to set up cameras without telling her. I put one in the living room, one in the bedroom, and one pointed at my dresser. I felt guilty doing it, but I told myself it was for safety. I even joked to myself that I'd catch some random masked guy and feel stupid for worrying. 3 days later, I checked the footage while she was at work. My hands were shaking as I skipped through the clips. Then I saw her walk into the bedroom, open my drawer, and pull out my gold ring. She looked around, smiled, and slipped it into her purse. I felt like my chest caved in. I kept watching. She did it again the next day and the day after that. She wasn't rushing or scared. She looked comfortable, like she had done it 100 times. I sat there staring at the screen and said out loud, you've got to be kidding me. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I copied every video and saved them. I made a group chat with my parents, my friends, my coworkers, her friends, her coworkers, and then I added her parents and grandparents. My finger hovered over the send button for a full minute. Finally, I typed, I think you should see this, and sent the videos. My phone exploded. Her mom called me crying and saying, I am so sorry. Her dad texted, this is unacceptable. Her grandma left a voicemail that just said, I raised her better than this. I didn't reply to anyone. I just waited. When my girlfriend came home that night, she was pale. She dropped her bag and yelled, why would you do that? I stayed calm and said, why would you steal from me? She tried to cry, tried to explain, and said it was just borrowing. I told her, borrowing doesn't look like this. She packed a bag and left that night. A week later, her grandparents called me and asked me to come over. They sat me down and handed me a small box. Inside was my jewelry, my gold, and even a few things I didn't know were missing. Her grandpa said, she's out of the will. We won't reward that behavior. I walked out feeling weirdly empty, but also relieved. I got everything back, and I learned a lesson I won't forget. The dumbest thief I ever dealt with wasn't a stranger. It was the person living next to me, smiling, and telling me I was just being paranoid.